Hello and welcome to episode 332 of Super Switch Heads, the premier Nintendo podcast on all of the internet. My name is Jordan Willis.
My name is David Howe, and boy, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest joining once again on the podcast. You know him from the Discord. You love him from the podcast. Give it up for the wonderful Hans Gauger. How's it going, Hans?
Hey, it's going well. Glad to be on here again.
Hans, thank you for joining us. Hans here is going to chat with us about Kirby Air Riders, the long-awaited legacy sequel to Kirby Air Ride for the GameCube. Not confusing at all. But before we get into all that, of course, we're going to go over the news. The Golden Joystick Awards happened. Panic Button was revealed to be one of the developers behind some of the Switch upgrades, the Switch 2 upgrades specifically. And the Pokemon Kanto Park ticket lottery is live now. So if you are dying to go to that in Japan. But before we get into all that, how's everyone doing today?
Pretty good. Yeah, been having a pretty nice week. It's kind of the pre-Thanksgiving lull here. I'm going home to Dallas next week. It's my mom's birthday and Thanksgiving and all that. My brother and his wife and kid are all going to be in town. So that'll be a nice time. I do want to say, I want to get ahead of the rumors here. I am thankful for all of you. Just so you know, I'm getting ahead of it. Okay, it's opposition research has been put out there, and they found this out. But I am very thankful for all of you and this community. So that's really nice. And then other than that, I don't know. I just went to a couple concerts this weekend, saw some movies, and it was a nice time overall. I've been having a chill time.
Hans, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I mostly spent this weekend playing Air Riders, but I did go to some friend's house and play board games on Saturday. I'm a big board game head, so got to do that whenever I can. But, mostly just I actually had a lighter week of work this week, which was good.
Only 70 hours.
Busy weeks before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen any movies in a while, though. I really need to get out there and see one.
Yeah, go see Wicked for Good.
No, not that one. I'm sure that one's good, but I have not seen it yet.
Are you?
First one was good. I like the first one. But
yeah, I don't know. I can't get into it. I'm like, this is 5 hours plus, and I'm like, this could have been 2 hours, whatever.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
For the audio listeners, Hans has about 50 board games behind him on screen. So
and a bunch of Kirby paraphernalia
it is,
on.
It is not 50. It is over 100.
Oh my goodness.
I have it logged on Board Game Geek.
There's a letterbox for board games? All right.
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
To know. I'm sure there's a letterbox for everything.
Yeah.
What about you, Jordan?
Man, it's been a wild ride. Work has been crazy. Life has been crazy. You probably have noticed I have not been here for a few weeks. I was living in Houston for a few weeks for some other things that if you want to ask me in the Discord, I will tell you, but I do not want to share on the podcast. But yeah, man, doing pretty good this weekend. I've just been trying to take it as easy as I can because everything else has been so crazy busy that it's like...
Yeah, work picked back up while you were in Houston, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I can't really say what I'm working on, but we usually film in one space for a lot of it, and then we ended up filming in a lot of different spaces. And for my particular job, that's when things get crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, man, we're making it through. I'm only on this gig probably through the end of the year. And then also at the end of the year, I'm going to Germany. So I have that to look forward to. I'm going to Berlin. Anyway.
Oh my God, you got to party 36 hours a day, dude. It's going to
be... We are going for New Year's.
Okay. That'll be fun.
That is going to be really cool, man. I'm really
Congratulations.
excited.
Well, I just want to say, Jordan, I am so excited to have you back on the show. It's been too long, but it's great to have you back. And it's great to have you back again, Hans. And I can't wait to talk all about Kirby Air Riders because it's a very fun game. They're saying it's the most ADHD game ever made. But before we talk about that, we got the news. And before that, we got shout outs. So I want want to give a couple shout outs to a few of the YouTube comments we got last week on the show. One was from Travis Short 7437 in reference to the Steam Deck, saying this thing's going to play Switch games like a dream. And you are not wrong about that. Switch emulation has become incredibly easy, even on Android. I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the show. Also, our episode last week obviously was on the Steam machine. We had Patrick Knisley and JM Spec from Devolver Digital on, and started some conversation there. One of the comments we got was from Munchiner France, who said, an underpowered hardware barely better than the Series S that released in 2020. In reference to the Steam Deck beating out Microsoft. I think if you listen to the episode, there's quite a bit more than just power. I think that Valve is going to be beating Microsoft to the punch on when it comes to the next generation system. And I would wager a bet that this thing is also going to be considerably more powerful than an Xbox Series S. I'd say the Xbox Series S is kind of a little bit more comparable to the Switch 2, somewhere between the Switch 2 and the Steam Deck as it is right now. And I think that the Steam machine is going to be a little bit closer to a base PS5 in power. So definitely something to talk about in there. Shout outs to Caltronic and a few members of the Discord as well. We've been having some lively debates on what the actual audience for the Steam machine is, what the pricing is going to be. We're talking about doing a poly market scheme on betting what these things are going to cost. Jordan, you weren't on the episode. What do you have to say about this?
David, as your legal counsel, I have to advise against you starting any more controller or system eating schemes, and this will also include a market scheme as well.
Okay, all right. Well, the controller eating threat was from Hans on that one. Yeah. I had nothing to do with that this go around. I'm still holding out for 500, man. I think like the highest we're going to see the base model of the Steam machine is $599. Either way, I think they're going to have a 5 in that price, but it'll be at the end. It'll be $1,005. But anyway, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, please join our Discord. We'll have more information about that at the end. And if you'd like to be shouted out, leave a comment under the YouTube video here. We do a video version of our podcast, and we've got such handsome gentlemen on the show today, so you'd be a fool to miss out on the YouTube version of the show. While you're there, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about the show. Share it someplace on Reddit. Leave us a review on Apple and Spotify and whatnot. But I think with all that out of the way, I'm ready to get into the news. What do you guys think? We ready for news?
Yes.
Well, we will move on to the news. And our first bit of news here concerns the Golden Joystick Awards. We are in officially awards season for the video game industry. We obviously have the Game Awards coming up. DICE Awards is always a thing, the Indie Game Awards. Another one of these is the 43rd annual Golden Joystick Awards, which is kind of a people's gaming awards. You could kind of call it that, I suppose. Donkey Kong Bonanza has won the Critics' Choice for Game of the Year. I'm pretty excited for that. I mean, everybody is thinking that the Game Awards this year is a shoo-in for Expedition 33. It is by far the most nominated game in Game Awards history. So, I mean, a lot of those are just going straight up to performance. I think it's like 3 performance awards at the Game Awards. So that's a lot in their pocket for that game there. But it looks like the Critics' Choice went to Donkey Kong Bonanza. I still have Donkey Kong Bonanza at my Game of the Year. I did not play through all of Expedition 33. It does seem like it's a bit more of the Oscar baity game, I guess you could say, when it comes to these sorts of things. So what do you guys think about this? Is this a worthwhile win for the Golden Joystick Awards?
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, it just feels like they're like, we got to give it something. And because, I mean, it is a great game. It is not my favorite game of the year. I still think that it might be Silksong, but we'll talk about that later. But I mean, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I did not expect Expedition 33 or Clair Obscur to like really be this popular. It kind of reminds me of like the Baldur's Gate 3 kind of situation. And it's kind of weird because I feel like overall RPGs are kind of not the most popular games. So it's kind of interesting to see like this is the space for good storytelling. And if it has good game mechanics, that kind of translates to a lot of award nominations.
Sure. I mean, I think, there's the discourse now, of course, of like, it's a JRPG made by Western devs. I guess Western devs are better than Japanese devs. I've already been seeing that go around online, which is already making me tired. But I do think it's interesting that game came out so much earlier in the year and has really held momentum throughout all of this award season. So that's exciting to see. Hans, do you have any takeaways from the Golden Joysticks here?
Yeah, I played DK Bonanza and loved it, obviously, but I bought Claire Obscure Expedition 33 for my brother-in-law on Steam, and we're in the Steam family, so it's like kind of buying it for myself. And I tried to boot it up a little bit, but my PC was not running it super well, so that's not on my PC, not on the game. So I really haven't played that much of it, unfortunately.
Well,
I do think it's funny that they have an award for the best game trailer. I don't know why they do that, but GTA 6 trailer 2 apparently got the award for the best trailer.
It's a good trailer. And actually I have a mutual on Blue Sky that I've been wanting to hit up about the show for a long time who does edit game trailers. I think there's an art to trailer making, and we should have best trailer be an Oscar category as well, because I think trailer editing is an art. When I saw Rental Family today, there were 2 trailers in a row. Forget exactly what they were, but they just like blew me away. I was like, dude, these are such good trailers. So whenever you see a good one, I get hyped for it. But
my question is if they're going to add best stand up and cheer moment in the Golden Joystick Awards.
yeah. Or most wish listed Grand Theft Auto game, which just goes to GTA 6 every time. Anyway, we'll move on to our next bit of news. That involves Panic Button. You guys remember them? Panic Button is a studio that has been chugging away for a while now, right here in Austin, Texas. And it has come to light on the Twitter website that Panic Button actually did most of the Switch 2 upgrades that came out for free whenever the Switch 2 actually launched. So that includes Mario Odyssey. I think that was Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. There were a few others as well, but I found this to be pretty interesting. They've been working for a while now. They did Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe and ARMS as well. They did those upgrades. It kind of maybe explains why we haven't seen a bunch of new Switch 2 upgrades since then. I think we all kind of assumed that these would be being done in-house, but it seems like they're being outsourced to project workers here, and I think that that's good. It means that Nintendo is working on their first-party stuff, but hopefully we see more of these coming up soon. You guys have any thoughts on this? Hans, you familiar with the studio at all?
No, not really, but there's several games that I want like Switch 2 upgrades for. And I hope we get more of them. I hope we get more free ones too, not just like basically DLC.
Yeah, I agree. Jordan, you have any thoughts on Panic Button coming out and saying that they've done a lot of these ports?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like, actually, this weekend I played a little bit of Super Smash Brothers, which I did not realize has not gotten a Switch 2 upgrade yet, and is one of the ones that I think would benefit the most.
I agree.
From a Switch 2 upgrade, just from a technical standpoint, and also like that game would look incredible in 4K on a big TV. But yeah, it's just kind of weird. It's interesting to see which ones Nintendo did pick to do, and it makes me wonder the ones that haven't gotten a Switch 2 upgrade at this point, if there is something behind the scenes that makes those ones more complicated to upgrade, because it seems like a lot of these were probably made by some of like, what is it, EPD, the EPD studios. So I'm wondering if something like Smash Brothers, which was a Bandai Namco joint, if that's like a little bit more difficult, maybe it's running on a different engine, something like that. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But it is kind of interesting to see that like they farm these out, and it's probably for the best so that they can focus on making new games.
That's a good point. I think Bandai Namco would probably handle their own version of it, or Team Sora Limited or whatever, right? And they just finished up making Kirby Air Ride. So it's like, who knows? But no, playing Kirby Air Riders this weekend has made me be like, dude, we need a Switch 2 update for Smash. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just how fast everything loads, how crisp all the renders look, and all the character renders in 4K and everything. It all pops so beautifully. Such a beautiful looking game. But anyway, that's cool to see. Hopefully we'll be getting, before the year's end, another big drop of Switch 2 upgrades from Panic Button. But yeah, it was a lot of those in-house Nintendo development teams that did get the updates. You're right about that. We'll move on to the next bit of news. And sadly, we're going to have to talk about Roblox here. For the past couple weeks, I've been kind of putting off talking about this. There's been a lot of Roblox in the news, and it's all due to one of the stories that we covered a long time ago, which was just this terrible culture of grooming and the ability for older users of Roblox and younger users of Roblox to communicate directly. There has been several state governments that have sued Roblox in order to get something on the books here in order to stop this from happening, right? And one of them being Texas. I think the other one was Louisiana. A lot of southern states, interestingly. I wonder why that is. But it does seem that there is an update now that is either just come out or is being pushed that basically is going to make it to where this kind of facial ID AI verification where you scan an ID or your face or something, and then it can tell how old you are roughly, and then it will keep you in brackets. So it's like, it puts you into age groups. So it's like, a 12 to 13-year-old age group, a 15 to 16-year-old age group, and then 18 to 20 and upward. And then it will basically keep it to where minors and adults aren't able to talk to each other. This sounds good, but there's also like lots of privacy concerns around this. I think that there's lots of data harvesting concerns around this. This is a pretty touchy subject in a lot of ways. Do either of you want to pick this up? Either of you have any kind of thoughts on this? Because I know like data privacy is a huge talking point right now when it comes to age verification stuff like this.
It's kind of strange to me because I feel like this might be showing my age, but I remember it was like, for certain websites, you had to be 13 years or older to be able to create an account.
Right.
And I'm not really sure, like with Roblox, if you make an account, it's like under 9. Like, I don't know. It's just something about a company scanning a kid's face.
Yeah.
It's just like unsettling, like full stop, like just
Right.
alone. And then let alone like using that as the verification system, which seems easily gamed,
Right.
especially with like face filters or hey, what if I just like print out a photo and then hold it up to the camera to get around their age verification system?
People were doing that with, I think, Blue Sky in Europe had to put this age verification thing in. It was a law that they had to do this. And people were like scanning the face of like Sam Porter Bridges from Death Stranding in order to like get past the system. So it is easily fallible, A, and then B, if you are doing it, they claim they don't hold on to it, but it's like, who knows what they're really doing with that stuff, right?
Don't seem good to me, but I also never have played Roblox ever in my life because I'm a grown man.
It's like, I don't want like the grooming to continue, but I just wonder if this is the way to go about it. You have any thoughts on this, Hans?
I mean, I never played Roblox either. And I don't know, kind of the less I know about Roblox, the better for me.
Yeah,
I just
probably right. Yeah.
But also it's like, if we could just devote some energy to getting this thing banned or something, I don't know, like there's probably good things that come of it, but like, it's like this or TikTok. I'd ban this over TikTok.
Yo, fair.
They're like, good news. Roblox, you can no longer play if you're an adult. Bad news. It's now owned by Larry Ellison. Somehow it makes a right-wing pivot. No, you're right. I think the best solution here is probably just to shut down the entire game completely. It's a toxic environment that utilizes children as unpaid workforce. So don't love Roblox as a whole. Take up another hobby, literally anything else. And I think with that unfortunate news out of the way, we're going to move on to something that's a little bit lighter here. And that is that Pokemon is opening the Poke Park Kanto. This is a IRL thing that exists in Japan. And Jordan, I'm going to toss this one to you, but it seems like there is now an ability to actually pre-register to go to the park. Is that correct?
Yeah. So as many people know, in Japan, it's a lottery system for a lot of different tickets. It's the same thing for the Nintendo Museum, but basically right now what's open is the ticket lottery registration.
Mm-hmm.
So you can register to get into the lottery. I think you have until it's December 8th for the ticket lottery registration.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, once you're announced, they will tell you if you're able to buy a ticket, and then you'll be able to schedule a day within a range of dates from in like February to, I don't know. The whole thing is like, honestly, oh yeah, tickets for February 5th to March 31st. So
Can
whole thing's pretty confusing.
Can you describe what the park is a little bit more? Because I'm not entirely familiar with it.
I honestly, it's kind of bizarre. So, because they have different tier ticket prices, because this is another part of the controversy. So, first of all, there's like Sedgetown, which is like a kind of like a town, kind of like Pokemon Town, and then the other big attraction is going to be like a forest area that apparently has like 110 steps that you have to climb up to get into.
Interesting.
So, because of that, they don't have, I guess, similar ADA compliance laws. So, basically, they will sell you a cheaper ticket if you're not able to go up the steps to the forest. So then you just have access to like the town kind of area. But it's kind of interesting. I mean, and then they also kind of started announcing price points. There are, the trainer pass is 7,900 yen, which is about like 50 or 60 bucks USD. And then 14,000 yen for the Ace Trainers Pass, like the top tier. And that's like 90 bucks USD, if I remember correctly, something around there. But yeah, it seems a little pricey for how big this thing seems. I can't really gauge how big this place is going to be.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
It looks pretty big. I know there's like you said, there's the forest and the town, but then it's also like within it, there's like stage shows and events, and it looks like all the Poke shops and Pokemarts and all that kind of stuff. Like we'll probably all have, merchandise or whatever in it. So it seems like a pretty fun, immersive Pokemon thing with all those statues and everything around. So I don't know. Seems cool. I'd love to see something like that come to the US, but yeah.
David, how much was a Universal Japan in Osaka?
I don't remember. I was just bleeding money the entire time I was
Hell
in Japan,
yeah.
so it's kind of hard to say. That's a blur of we'll think about finances later. A Japanese trip, if you're so lucky. But anyway, that seems cool. I'd love to go someday. I'd love to go back to Japan. Just watching that rental family movie today really made me want to go back to Japan. But we'll move on for now to our next little bit of news. And this is more of a PSA, but Black Friday deals are officially on pretty much everywhere. I mean, Black Friday gets earlier and earlier every year. It's like it was Friday, and then it was Thanksgiving, and then it was like Weird Wednesday, and then it's like now it's just weeks before. So basically, keep an eye out. I think the eShop itself has some sales right now. I think Splatoon 3 is down 30%. A number of first-party games are down like 33% or something like that, as we usually see. Nothing too steep and crazy, but we are seeing some Switch 2 games being discounted for the first time. So keep an eye on the eShop, and then all of those kind of other brick-and-mortar stores as well. You're going to be seeing a lot from Best Buy and Amazon. They're all having a lot of physical sales on games as well. Anything you guys are looking at this Black Friday that's interesting to you, or you guys trying to get some deals on?
Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown is half off right now. I might check that out.
Do
I
it.
haven't played that one yet.
Yeah,
The game is fantastic.
Yeah.
If you like any Metroidvania, it's definitely in like top 5 Metroidvanias of all time. It's fantastic. And there are some features in there that I wish were in Hollow Knight. Silksong, to be honest. But yeah, dude, that game is fantastic. If you have not played it, you'll love it. I probably will end up picking up a couple things, but just kind of stuff that's already been on my wish list for a while. But I'm like resisting buying Ball X Pit, but that's not on sale. That's a topic for another time. Sorry.
That's a pretty cheap game, and it's in our shared Steam library, so you can feel free to play it over there. But
thanks, dude.
Yeah, of course. It's not. I didn't buy it, but anyway, lots of cool stuff there. So definitely check that out. And I think lastly, before we move into our main topic here, we're going to talk just about a little bit about Kirby Air Riders. There is a current Metascore of 79 for Kirby Air Riders, the newest first-party Nintendo game. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, I like the game quite a bit. We'll get into that a lot more, obviously, in the main topic. But did you have any thoughts on the Metacritic score and some of the critics in general, Hans? I know beforehand you were talking about how you maybe had a little bit of a bone to pick with some of the critics for this game.
Well, no, I don't have a bone to pick with the critics. I was seeing YouTubers posting videos about how, the critics don't get it because they didn't give it a perfect score or whatever. And I just think that's so dumb because like this game is so clearly niche that or maybe not niche, but at least like definitely not for everybody. And like, that's just going to critics are just not going to like everything that you like, and it's fine. Like that's their job. I do think that I absolutely love this game, but I think 79 is a fair score. In fact, that's kind of higher than I would expect. Not saying the game is bad. I think the game is great, but like, it's a bizarre game.
Yeah, there's a lot to get into on why some of that is, and some of it even comes down to like the debate on like, do you give Tears of the Kingdom a higher score than Breath of the Wild because it's like it wouldn't exist without Breath of the Wild, but it also does everything better. I feel like a lot of those arguments can go with this game and then like the original Air Ride and like Smash Ultimate and stuff like that. So we'll kind of break some of that down in our main topic because I find that to be an interesting conversation there.
I will say I listened to some conversations with the critic from IGN. I don't remember his name. I think it was Logan something.
Yeah, Logan Plant did the review for this game for IGN.
So he was talking about it on a podcast, and he was saying like it's kind of this game is kind of the perfect like end point for what Air Ride was, but Air Ride itself is like very limited. Like it's like taking a very limited concept and doing as much, like pushing it as far as you can, but it's still going to be hamstrung by the fact that the controls are weird.
Yeah. It's kind of like Luigi's Mansion, like the first Luigi's Mansion, very much felt like this is a proof of concept of how we could make a Luigi's Mansion game one day. You know what I mean? Like the first Air Ride was like that. It was like 3 like pretty bare bones like modes, and this like really filled it out. Few other things to mention here. There have been some day one patches to note. There is the online store within the game where you can like spend mile coins or whatever. There have been already some risque designs that have been removed, one of which is Chef Kawasaki in a bikini. That was at the top of the popularity list for a while. That has been removed, but you can make your own. I've even seen YouTube videos online being like DIY how to make your own Chef Kawasaki in a bikini, which is really funny to me. And then lastly, I did want to just bring up a couple comments that Sakurai made. And a lot of them had to do with some of this controversy we've talked about in the past, just about like credit in video games. I think that one of the things that he's been kind of saying in these, in these interviews is basically like, hey, it's best just to play games instead of like looking at who made them. Please do not perceive me. I think he's a little uncomfortable with the fact that he's kind of a superstar game developer, which is funny because I would say 90% of what makes this game so good is him and his like design aesthetic and his like philosophy on creating games. So I think he's being very humble there, and it's not helping adding fuel to the fire for a lot of the credit debates we've been hearing about. But any thoughts on any of these before we get into the main topic, Jordan?
Well, don't make 2-hour-long videos talking about your game then, bro. Like, what are you doing here?
Where you are front and center on camera the entire time.
Yes. After you had a successful career as a YouTuber, you know what I mean? And split off from Nintendo to make your own game company. We'll just have to see. I do think that Sakurai should lean a little bit more heavily into his pop star status. Pull a Kojima, man. It's all good. Nobody's going to blame you if you have as big of an ego as Kojima. You've earned it at this point. But
his planet pop star status.
Yeah, his planet pop star status. Exactly. But I think with all that out of the way, we're going to move on to our main topic, and that is Kirby Air Riders right after this break. And we are back here with Hans Gauger to talk all about Kirby Air Riders. This is the newest Sakurai joint, and boy howdy, is this a Sakurai game. When you are playing this game at pretty much every moment, it basically, what I've been describing it as is it is basically Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but it's just like a different game inside of all the packaging. You know what I mean? And I know that doesn't make a ton of sense, but it's like, this game is basically Smash Ultimate in all but gameplay. Maybe that's a better way to say it. I'm really enjoying this quite a bit more than I thought I would, even if at times this game is hard for me to wrap my brain around what is actually happening on the screen at any given time. It is an insane game. Let's start with you, Hans, because I know you have actually been playing quite a bit of this game already. Can you tell us a little bit where you're at with the game right now and kind of what some of your overall impressions are of Kirby Air Riders?
Yeah, so I checked on the Nintendo Store app to see my hours. I have put almost 20 hours into this already.
Whoa! Oh, Mr. Man.
And yeah, on the road trip mode, I have collected all but 3 of the check marks.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I've not done a whole lot of the other modes because I was really, really trying to beat the game and beat it with the true ending, and I did that at 1:30 in the morning this
Wow.
morning.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
But I will say, when you play the road trip mode, it's basically like you're playing every other mode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're just like those in bite-sized little pieces.
Yeah, in further Super Smash Brothers Ultimate comparisons, it is a very World of Light-esque single-player campaign, I would say.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the game is great. I think it's gorgeous. I never played the original. I don't think a lot of people did, but I was excited about this game just mainly because I'm a big Kirby fan. And it's really, really cool. I think that it is a more fun game than Mario Kart World by a lot. Because I've played Mario Kart World, some on my own and some with people online and some with people local multiplayer. And I think all 3 of those are better in Kirby Air Riders. It's a much different game, obviously, gameplay wise, but like it's giving me a reason to play it single player. And local multiplayer on Mario Kart is good still, but definitely online, like the paddocks are great.
Yeah.
Like you and me, David, we were able to get in on basically just some rando's paddock, but we were able to join together and we were able to play with several people just in this one room. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, I'm really impressed. I think we were talking about this when I was streaming the game recently, but it's like I think that Sakurai games like take all the quality of life features from every other Nintendo game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It, like they have so much in them, but it's like at the expense of every other Nintendo game having any quality of life features that includes online, right? But yeah, the paddock system actually works really, really, really well.
This might legitimately be the most accessible Nintendo game. Like
in some ways, and in other ways, very much inaccessible.
Right,
I would say, but yes,
you can adjust it to where you like motion sensitivity isn't as much of a problem,
right?
And it only controls with like one button and a joystick,
right?
So like, yeah, I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah, I agree. Jordan, I'd love to get your thoughts on this game. Where are you at so far, and what do you think about it so far?
I am a lot colder on this game than both of y'all. Like, I think if this game had come at a different point in time, I could see myself enjoying it a lot more. But at this point in time, there are so many games coming out, and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which is the game I'm probably most hyped for, is coming out in a couple weeks. I still need to finish Silk Song. I want to play Ball X Pit. I still didn't beat Pokemon Legends ZA, and I've already got 30 hours in that. I'm like, this is just too much to play right now. That like this ADHD ass game is like not for me right now. I might come back eventually because what y'all are saying about the online stuff is I do really appreciate. I appreciate that it has a ranked mode and a casual mode. Like it should be in every online Nintendo game. Like let the sweaties in Mario Kart World be on their own. Like we don't need that in just a casual little playthrough session,
Sure.
But I think for me, the reason I don't gravitate towards it as much is because all the gameplay is in like 45 to 1 minute spurts, 45 seconds to 1 minute spurts. And I'm like, I just got off playing 60 hours of Silk Song where I have to be locked in like to this game. I have to be focused on what I'm doing and playing. So like the stop start nature of this game just like is not working for my brain right now. I've never downloaded TikTok. I don't get it.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. And I think it's important to know that going in is that this game is not going to be for everyone. And I think, which is funny because like you said, Hans, this plays like a party game. It presents itself like a party game, you know, in every way but gameplay. This is like an incredibly accessible game. But then, you know, and this has been discussed as well online, that I've been seeing this going around, but it's like, if you want to play this game with your friends at your house, you got to sit them down for like 30 minutes and like explain exactly how everything works, because it is not intuitive in the slightest how pretty much anything works in this game. You know, there is no accelerate button. There is, you know, the way that you brake and turn. The same button for braking and drifting is the same button for using items and dropping from the sky and sucking things up and hitting people and doing everything else. And you're just like, what the fuck? None of this makes any sense in a modern gameplay sensibility, right? So it's like, I do think it's very fun, and I think the more I play it, the more I like this game, because I'm like getting in the rhythm of its gameplay. But it is a really hard ask for what it is selling itself as, which is like a Smash Ultimate style party game, right?
Yeah, and especially if you consider, like, talking about having your friends over and trying to play it. You have to like basically send them through the tutorial just so that they can know how it controls. But then you also have to say like, oh yeah, you don't want to play as the bulk star, or like you don't want to do Formula Star right now, because they play completely differently from all of the other machines. Like even down to individual machines just operate. It's not like choosing a kart in Mario Kart where your stats will change a little bit, but everything is basically the same.
Mm-hmm.
In this game, like full-on mechanics are different depending on what cart you choose.
Which is great. You know, that is not a problem at all. In fact, I think that this game would be doomed with that. And I think what you're describing is the first air ride, right? Like for the GameCube, you know, but I think the fact that they added all that extra shit is what's going to give this game a ton of its longevity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate, honestly, though, like the simplicity of the controls where like everything is contextual. You know, and I think like as a longtime gamer, it just kind of like made sense to me. Like I played through the tutorial and I was like, yeah, I probably could have picked this up. I think where I'm getting really lost is like, there is so much happening and so many little symbols that all mean something completely different that I'm like, I just picked up like 100 of these symbols and I have no idea what any of them do and how they reference my stats, because sometimes like it makes sense. Like the weight symbol is like a dumbbell or like a weight of some sort. But then like the symbol for like top speed is just like a puff of air. And I'm like, how does that mean top speed? I don't get this. Or the defense one's like a circle with some like things around it. I'm like, I just like none of these symbols really make that much sense to just like randomly. So it's like something you have to learn. There's like
this all would have made sense if you watched all 2 hours and 15 minutes of the Sakurai Directs, Jordan.
Yeah.
Like we did our homework. Okay. We know what to do going into this game.
I honestly did not even watch all of this.
Okay. Maybe that's just me. But no, you have a good point. I mean, you're not wrong. There's so much to pay attention to, and there's so much UI. There is UI being thrown at your face at all times in this game.
And some of it is unintuitive. Like for some reason, weight also increases your speed.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that.
Didn't know that either.
I didn't know that at first. But then if you start collecting weight, you go a lot faster.
There's stuff like that. There's also, even to throw even further wrenches in it, there are sometimes where you'll get items and they're just fake. And it just it makes you
or
swerve
debuffs.
around, or they debuff you, or whatever. You know what I mean?
The ones that are grayed out are debuffs.
I think if the items are misspelled, then they're like fake. Also, that's like a way that you can like tell, like when you're playing City Trial, when you're getting like upgrades. So there's all this shit that they don't tell you, and I think that like for me that's a feature, not a bug though, because I've been having a lot of fun like talking online, like doing game chat with you, Hans, or like just talking with friends that I know that are playing this game. And it's very like playground, like, oh, can you like tell me a little bit of like, oh, it's like, what does this item do? Oh yeah, you know that. Okay, well, did you know this, that this does this or whatever? So it has been fun kind of in this first week, kind of communicating with people, but I could see how people would be annoyed by that. You know, I think that's, you know, that's a complaint that's often levied at something like Binding of Isaac or whatever, where they kind of obfuscate some of what the power-ups do, and then you kind of have to just figure them out on their own. So it's definitely comes down to a preference sort of thing with that, I think.
I've seen several opinions online, and it seems like everybody has a different specific mode or modes that they like. Like some people are super into Top Ride, And other people are like, I could take or leave Top Ride, like,
Right.
you know. And then some people are like, oh, I really like the racing, and City Trial is just too frenetic for me.
Right.
But the game has options for you, like even if you don't like certain modes.
Yeah. Yeah, like Top Ride, for instance, like has its 2 different control modes. You know, all of the settings on any of these modes can be tweaked, just like in Smash Ultimate. There's endless customization to all of this stuff. Like, I like Top Ride a lot, but I don't love how short they are. I think Top Ride would be fun if it was like 10 laps. You know what I mean? Which you can just do. You know, you can set that up, you know, even when you're playing online in a paddock, you can like make those custom rules as you're going in, and you can join paddocks with people that you don't know, which has been hugely beneficial for us. Right, Hans? Like when we've been playing online together, it's like, oh man, like I want to play online, but I don't want to just play with me and Hans and then like 10 bots or whatever. It's like, okay, then just join a random paddock that has like 32 people in it or whatever. And then all of a sudden you've got all these different kinds of games all going on at the same time that you can join. And that's been a lot of fun to play. But yeah, let's talk about those modes real quick. There are 3, as we've mentioned. There's Top Ride, which was from the original game. I think all 3 of these are from the original game. City Trial and Air Ride. And Air Ride being your kind of general races, where, you know, it's got auto acceleration, your B button to brake, and a boost drift. You've got some copy abilities and whatnot. You've also got City Trial, which is similar to Smash Run, which was itself taking from the original Kirby Air Ride, which is you get as much power-ups as you can in a 5-minute period when playing with 16 people, and then you duke it all out in something at the end. And then there is also I guess Top Ride, which we said, which is kind of a top-down version of the Air Ride, a lot more simplistic version of the racing. But there's also a single player now added into this game that was not present in the original game called Road Trip. And that's what you've been playing the most of, Hans. Can you kind of describe Road Trip a little bit and why you like it so much?
Yeah, so you're just on a road. You get to choose your character at the beginning out of the ones that you have unlocked, and then you start with a warp star, and then as you go, you can unlock new machines. But then it'll usually give you like 3 options for levels you can go to, like a roguelike almost. And those levels will give you different buffs. Some of them are harder than others, and they'll give you more buffs. And then you play through like 11 stages before you get to the final boss.
It's pretty long, to be honest.
Yeah. And then if you want to get the true ending, you have to play it at least twice. I ended up playing it 3 times. Because in order to do that, you have to unlock every machine in that mode.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's a ton of fun. It's also like it's like Top Ride in that not Top Ride. It's like City Trial in that as you go, you get buffed, and your buffs make you, get really fast or turn a lot better or whatever. So by the time you're in like 11, stage 11, and you have 200 something buffs, you start like, I think it's great.
Yeah, that you're so right in that it is like a long City Trial. You know what I mean? It's like a City Trial for like multiple hours. Yeah. The buffs are the same. You get them over the course of it in the same way that City Trial has like little challenges that will pop up in that 5 minutes while you're all running around the city really fast. These just are kind of sanctioned out by like levels as you progress through the game, right? So it's a really cool mode, and I think it's a good single player. I've heard a lot of people online saying they didn't love this mode as much, but I have been enjoying it quite a bit. And it's definitely fun to like put on while you're listening to a podcast or something,
Yeah. Also, there are goodies that you unlock if you complete it, and also if you complete it with multiple of the checklists.
Yeah, the unlockables and the checklists are a huge part of the game. But what were you going to bring up, Jordan?
Oh yeah, this is like the mode I've been playing the most of, just because I'm like, it kind of is the best way to acclimate yourself to the game.
100%.
Is what I would argue. So it's like, if you're going to get into this game, this is what you should kind of start, which is counterintuitive because on the menu, it's like in the bottom right and is the smallest of all of the options on the menu screen.
Sakurai menu design at its best right there.
Yeah. But it's longer than I was expecting. I honestly wish wish there was a shorter version of this, something that's closer to like an hour and a half per run. Just that would be a mode that I would play like over and over and over.
Like a true roguelike. Like if they kind of made it a shorter thing instead of more like a campaign, I guess.
Yeah,
like Side Order and Splatoon.
Yeah.
Oh, which Jordan hasn't played, but
yeah, I'm not a Splatoon head either. But it's just like, I just like don't see myself, especially if I beat this, I don't ever see myself going back to it. Whereas something like Binding of Isaac, I've played like 200 hours of because it's infinitely replayable with this like this mode or whatever. So, and I feel like this has that potential, and I'm kind of curious like why they didn't either make it a shorter experience or why they felt the need to even add a story mode at all. Because it has like a pretty deep story that is kind of sad.
Yeah,
Like,
it's got really incredible cinematics in this game.
Yeah. The cutscenes are fantastic, and it gets really, really epic.
Yeah. I can't wait. Kirby games kind of always do. It's like it always starts really silly, and you're sucking up bad guys, and then you're eventually fighting God in some way or another. Yeah.
I will say, the once I finish the checklist, I don't really see myself going back to this mode at all.
Yeah.
Like I do want to complete the checklist. I only have like 3 left, and they're very small things I could do easily. But it doesn't have the replay value of something like Side Order, for example.
Right.
For me.
That's a great call though, Jordan. I do think that like kind of compressing this mode and making it more intense. So like instead of like getting, one upgrade per thing that you do, you make the challenges a little bit harder, a little bit longer. You get a ton of upgrades all at once. Yeah. And so it's like something that you beat in like 3 stages as opposed to like 11 or whatever. And you really made it that kind of branching pathway roguelike sort of thing even more. I think that would be a pretty cool addition to this game, but who knows? I mean, we have seen Sakurai is no stranger to DLC, so maybe there will be some stuff that they release for this game, and it really seems like he is all in on this game. But anyway, yeah, I like Road Trip quite a bit. I think it's a really cool mode, and there are just so many cool things to unlock and whatever in this game. Maybe that's something we could talk about, is kind of the progression of this game, because there are these sort of collection screens for every single mode in this game that really adds so much to the replay value. And I think that that's going to be a really fun thing to try to work your way through as you're playing this game. You said you're almost done with the single player stuff. Are a lot of the other mode collection screens like pretty much untouched for you, Hans? Like how has that been working?
Not completely untouched, but definitely probably in the I might have 30 checked off in each of them. Probably online is the least. I've played online the least so far. I do want to play more online. I haven't even touched ranked yet. But I do want to try that. But yeah, I do like that it gives you options on how to unlock the characters. So if you would unlock a character in one mode, but you don't really want to do that mode, you can usually find another way to unlock it in a different mode.
Right.
But then if you do go back and unlock it in the other one, it unlocks a new skin for it, a new color.
So are there 5 skins for every character then, I suppose?
I don't know if it's for every character. Right. So it might not be I do think that there are some characters that can only be unlocked in 3 of the checklists or something like that. But it's I think spread out enough to where you can unlock them, in whatever modes you want to do.
That's cool.
But then the other thing is you can collect road miles and you can just unlock them that way. If you want to just bypass the checklist altogether, if you just play the game, you'll get road miles, and then you can use those to unlock your characters.
Right. Yeah, there's a whole shop as well where you can buy kind of user-created content that people share online, or you can, spend that stuff on the unlockables, so you don't have to just grind the things in order to get them. Let's talk a little bit about those characters, because, there's a bunch of variety in this game, and they all really do perform quite differently because of the new special abilities that have been added into this game that were not present in the original GameCube game. There are 21 different characters, all with different special abilities. Some of them are just they go really fast during their special. Some of them are they wave a big sword in front of them like Kirby, or I love Rick just getting off his fucking machine and just busting ass down the road. Always makes me laugh.
Makes you wonder why he's even in a machine in the first place.
Yeah. But well, he gets tired. His legs get tired.
Who's to say? Maybe he's lazy.
The only people that drive cars that never get tired of moving their legs are the Flintstones. And that we have still yet to understand exactly why that is scientifically. And then on top of that, like you said, there are then machines, and the machines perform so differently from each other. They all have like very different abilities. And something that I like about this game, and you were talking about this a little bit, Jordan, when you're like getting the upgrades and you're not sure what's doing what, it's like all the machines have vastly different upgrade, or their abilities are all at different values, right? And it really shows like how much even a single fraction of upgrading any of those stats will vastly change the gameplay, right? What are some of your favorite vehicles that you've been playing with, Hans?
I've been trying to like push myself to play with several of them. Mm-hmm. One of the things you need to do for one of the checklists is beat a level with every kind of every machine. You have to beat a level with every machine in Road Trip, and I've done that. But some of them I like really don't like. Like I don't really like Formula Star at all.
I hate Formula Star.
Yeah, it's like really good for drag race and nothing else.
Yeah.
But I really like Wheelie Bike.
Yes,
I like all the bikes.
I like the Winged Star.
I'm a Chariot head. I like Chariot a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. I'm a Chariot head as well.
Chariot's kind of like a better version of just the Warp Star, I think. It's like an all-around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I just keep going back to whenever I'm playing on, if I can't beat a challenge on Road Trip, I just go back to the Chariot and I usually can kind of get it in one try.
Yeah.
But I do really like the flying ones because especially in Road Trip, when you get towards the end, if you get to stages where you're just doing an air ride race and you start flying, you will just like obliterate everybody.
Yeah, just never touch down. Because just keep holding back.
Nobody can touch you, and you're going way faster than in the air. And it's like that's some of the most fun stuff in this game is when you're just like flying way above everybody. You're hitting those like grid lines that they put in there so that you don't do shortcuts. But it's great.
Yeah.
I feel like this game is okay with being broken, which I think I really appreciate. Like, I feel like
cries and brawl.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you play some Smash games and it's like very rigid in like what you can do, but and there's some leeway, and especially with the glitches in Melee. But like, I feel like in this game, it's like, oh yeah, if you want to boost all of your glide stats and then just fly a machine that is like super flight and then you just never touch the ground, that's cool. You can do that. Like, it's just kind of cool, like the amount of customization, because that is like one thing I will say about the game that I do appreciate is that all the different varieties of play styles that are available, and to me is what makes it the most like Smash. Because like that's the thing about Smash is like you have almost 100 characters or whatever, and they all kind of like, some of them are duplications or whatever, but they all kind of control a little bit differently. So it's like similar in this game where it's just like, but it's instead of just being all characters, it's machines and characters combined.
Yeah, which
is like a nice little customization.
Which makes it even more variety than something like Smash. You know what I mean? Where Smash has like so many fucking characters. It's like insane how many characters there are. But imagine if you could give each of them their own like weapon. You know what I mean? And change it out. Like that's what this game is with all its like character combinations, and then add on to that the different stats that you can get as you're playing either the single player or city trial or whatever. And all of a sudden it's like, there's like a seemingly infinite number of like different ways that your machine could control, right? As you're playing through the game. So I think that makes it very exciting to keep playing and just seeing what new wacky shenanigans you can get into, or ways that you can, as you said, Jordan, kind of break the game.
Yeah, and for the characters, it's not even just the specials that are different, because some of the characters have different mechanics themselves. Like Meta Knight will slash his sword at someone automatically. And and so will Waddle Doo shoots his little beam automatically if he's behind somebody.
Right. And then
they're
Lolo and La La La, like they're like two characters in one. Whenever you
Yeah.
shake at them, it like changes who's driving. Then they have different stats. So yeah, it's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, so but they're definitely less. I feel like they're a lot less important than the machine in mechanics, but it's still like really cool trying to find like combinations and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and the machines too will have their own abilities, like the Vampire Star, which kind of
That's
sucks
the other
energy
one I like.
from
I like
people.
Vampire Star.
I
a
like
lot.
Yeah,
Vampire
yeah.
Slayer as well. Yeah.
That one's great. A lot of them like transform and do different things. You're just like, holy shit! Like some of the like the hopping one is like a whole different style of gameplay almost. So it's just really really crazy the variety
Yeah.
of this game. It's pretty overwhelming.
I feel like Air Ride, the actual Air Ride mode. I was talking to a friend about this. I feel like it is somewhere between Mario Kart and F-Zero in like how it plays, because it has some like of the items and stuff of Mario Kart, but it's way faster. Well,
It can be faster.
It can be
Sometimes
way
it's
faster.
dreadfully slow. Yeah.
Yeah. yeah. But it just feels a lot more like, I don't know, just like higher energy, kind of like F-Zero is.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as fast as F-Zero, but it's like I said, like halfway between.
I feel like one of my biggest complaints about this game though is that the air ride mode is just single races.
Mhm.
Like there's
You
no
wish there
kind
was
of
like a Grand Prix. Yeah.
something like that, man. And it's just kind of strange to me that they wouldn't do that. I mean, I think I put it on here. It was 18 tracks
Mhm.
total.
Including
Which-
all the original tracks from the first game, which have all
Mhm.
returned.
Yeah, so it's only like 9 new tracks, but it's like that's cool, man. But like, I mean, just group them together in threes or something.
I
I don't know,
agree.
or like what is that would be 6 little Grand Prix, something like that.
That's
Just
another
something
little
to-
bit of DLC they could add along with that roguelike mode that we were talking about.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it's like the races don't actually last that long.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, I just raced one and it took me about 2 to 3 minutes, and now I have to select another level, another 2 to 3 minutes, and just
Well,
just
and then
seems
Top Ride is
counterintuitive.
even worse than that. Top Ride is
Yeah.
like that, but 45 seconds.
Yeah.
It's just like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, it's like almost like these modes exist only to like serve the other modes, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Which is it's just kind of strange.
And that's what I was saying when I messaged you the other day, Jordan. I was like, this is a pretty like online focused game. It really feels like they want the longevity to be of this as people playing online, playing in paddocks, doing the modes by themselves, the ranked and whatever. I am a little concerned about the actual longevity of this game. I'm concerned about how many people are actually going to pick this thing up and continue to play it for years, even though that seems to be like what the game is built around, essentially, is like, playing together with other people. We could talk a little bit more about the online in a second. I'd like to get more into it, but yeah, that's a good point. I imagine some of that is done to differentiate it from Mario Kart.
Yeah,
Mario
I feel
Kart
like,
is
yeah.
a very Grand Prix centered single player experience, and this kind of is doing its own thing, And so I do agree with you that I would like those to be in there, and there might even be ways that you could sort of make that. I don't know. I'd need to look into some of the options because you can really customize a lot of stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if you could make that in a way in the game. But yeah, that it's interesting the ways that they've decided to go. Let's talk a little bit about like the courses and like visuals a little bit here. Obviously we have the city trial mode, which we haven't really even talked about that much, but I think when talking about Air Ride, like the courses that they have in here, like are just fucking beautiful. Like
Insane.
it's like this is the
Yeah.
first Switch 2 game that really feels like a Switch 2 game to me. You know what I mean? Like I think all of the other ones, I know I said that last week with Age of Imprisonment, but I think this even more so. Like Age of Imprisonment feels like they added a bunch of zhuzh to everything. Like I can strain and imagine that game running on a Switch 1 just like really shitty. I can't even imagine a Switch 1 could even handle this stuff that's in this game.
Mhm.
Also confirmed that this is the first party Nintendo game to utilize ray tracing. So it's really throwing all the bells and whistles at the screen here. I feel like I can every once in a while see a little bit of DLSS, but that might be my eyes playing tricks on me. You guys have anything to say just about the visuals of this game and some of the courses?
Dude, the visuals are blowing me away, and like the storytelling as you're going through the courses. And that's why I would like love to see them kind of strung together. But it's like, you'll be like racing down the road and then suddenly you're going down a waterfall, or you're going into a vortex that looks like you're all kaleidoscoped around you and you're going through it at the speed, like it's super fast. I'm and it's just beautiful to play on a 4K TV. And I'm like, finally, like Nintendo has caught up to the visuals of everyone else. But it's also cool to see them take their own style and apply it to 4K, because that's always been their thing is like, oh yeah, we might not have the most powerful hardware, but we put our creativity on the screen in the art direction. And I feel like this game is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, very, very much so. It's really throwing everything but the kitchen sink at it. And it's like, and it's buttery smooth, 60 frames per second, the entire game. Like no matter what is happening on screen, which is sometimes like literally like 500 things at once, it never even coughs. It's just like taking it all completely in stride.
Even when you're playing 2-player local, I did have a friend over and played local multiplayer Air Ride. No, not Air Ride. City Trial.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like that would be the hardest thing for it to do, and it was completely fine. Like I had no issues.
I think that if this game ever dropped to like 55 frames per second, Sakurai would like commit ritualistic suicide. Like it's like he like does not allow his games to ever dip below that. It's like his one thing. Like it's the reason we didn't have video recording in the original Smash Ultimate, like for the Switch, which is the one update I really need to see for Switch 2. But
so about the visuals, the courses are absolutely gorgeous, but one of the things I notice is like it cracks me up every single time. Whenever you are doing a gourmet race, or one of those things in either Road Trip or City Trial,
right?
The food items are like the most high-res thing I've ever seen in a Nintendo game.
4K pins.
It is like the most detailed-looking pizza you've ever seen, and it's just a PNG, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's so funny too. That's one thing I love. Like the game, we've already kind of talked about it a little bit, but it has such a unique, well, maybe unique to Sakurai, like visual style, where it's like you are just like in City Trial, you're just hunting PNGs the whole time, like flat PNGs. It still looks great. I just think it's like funny, but
it's part of the aesthetic. I mean, Smash had a similar aesthetic as well.
Definitely the best looking Switch 2 game I've played as well, and it's really great.
It's kind of blowing me away. Do you have anything to add, Jordan?
Not really, but I do. Do y'all want to talk about the story, or do you want to kind of just let people play that as they go? Because it's really bizarre to me. Like the story basically talks about how all of these machines came into existence, which is not a question I asked before Kirby Air Riders came out. I didn't really think too hard about it.
It's like, there was a Ford as well in an equivalent in the Kirby universe that made all the cars. You just kind of assumed.
I just kind of assumed. I mean, it's like Planet Popstar, or they're like magical beings or something like that. But no, they have a whole backstory of why the machines are existing and how they got integrated into the everyday life of everyone on Planet Popstar. It's like, who is this for? Like, who is the Kirby lore head that is like, no, I need to know how these machines got here.
I mean, it's Sakurai.
It's like, Kirby, Robo-Planet, Robobot explained how he became a robot. It's like, so I need the explanation of how there are these damn machines on this damn planet. It's just so bizarre. Like, so the general gist of it is that there is a sentient machine that crash landed on the planet Popstar in a remote region that no one would ever go to, and it's sending out its energy it wants to be ridden. So
me too.
And
Oh.
it sends out this mysterious shadowy character. Have you guys learned what this shadowy character's name is yet?
Is it DDD Noir?
Yeah, it's Noir DDD. It's just an emo DDD.
You
Oh
love to
my
see it. It's the
gosh.
Chris Angel of
that,
King DDD.
that may or may not be unlockable at the end of the campaign. But
oh boy, that's exciting.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
just love too that it's just like, yeah, and that's not who made the machines. And then there's a whole nother like giant factory that floats around.
Well, that is
Planet
like
Popstar?
Nova.
Yeah, that is like from Kirby Superstar Ultra, like that those things have been around for a long time, and I'm somebody who's not like a big Kirby lore head, but I recognize some of these things from other games, and I'm like, yo, the people that have been like keeping up to date with like Kirby lore have got to be eating so well with this game. Like they would just be like, oh my god, it's that thing that only I know about, you know. And so I just think that's really exciting for Kirby fans.
Yeah, it looks like the Death Star with like an uwu face.
Yeah, it's like it's like a cute little kitty cat. Yes, really, really great stuff. You love to see it. I think it'd be cool if they eventually put the original Air Ride on GameCube Classics, just so you can see the difference in like content between these two games and just like how much a story really adds to this package, you know. And I think it really not only adds like fun and context to it, but I think it kind of adds like monetary value to it as well. It's kind of like, I understand some people being like $70 is too much for this kind of game for me, but just all the just shit that's sprinkled in and all the little, every single like cranny has been filled with something. You know what I mean? There's like, it's like you've got like the big rocks of the 4 modes of like the single player city trial and everything else, and then the rest is all sand, like filling in all the holes between those big stones, you know. And it's just a really, really complete package, I feel.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the main mode, which is where you can go into that one screen and play with your gummies.
Yeah, there's gummies for no reason that you can, you just get these cute little gummies that just unlock during different modes of play. And then there's just a screen where you can just toss them all
and
around
you can like
and move your
you
cursor
can like
around
suck them all up and then blow them away and then like use your sword to fling them around.
It's like in Smash where there were like those modes where you could like get trophies by like doing a gotcha machine or like doing that. It's like that. It's like little bullshit things that just have no purpose other than Sakurai just wanted to fuck around with the physics engine, I suppose.
Just like have not seen this yet at all.
Yeah, I mean, that
speaks to the breadth of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really even talked about a lot of the customization. There's like so much you can do. There's every character has a player card, which is, you know, what people see when you play against them online. You can customize that. You can customize decals on all the ships and all the machines, and you can make them look like whatever you want. I've already downloaded a Sonic bike that you told me about, Hans.
Yeah,
I think that's so cool.
It's
like,
incredible.
Yeah, just the number of things you could do, and you compare it to something like Mario Kart World, which had no customization. Mario Kart is like, here's the way you will play our game, and this is the only way you can connect with it. And in this game, it's like you want to turn it into, you know, naked Squidward from SpongeBob. Do whatever you want. You know what I mean? It's like a very different kind of experience that they're giving you here. And again, I think it's just, you know, not to say that one's better than the other. It's just like it's going to resonate more with a certain kind of gamer than something like Mario Kart World does, right?
Yeah, those machine customizations, if you look through like popular, it's incredible what people are doing.
Yeah.
I downloaded a no face that somebody put on a vampire star, and it's really nice.
Yeah, you showed me that when we were
and
game
I made one myself of Jack Skellington, just like I was just trying to mess around with it. But it's really cool. It's neat what they let you do.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about City Trial here, just in case people don't really know about it. I realize we haven't talked a ton about it, but I don't want to go on forever about it because the directs did talk about it a lot. But are we enjoying City Trial in this game? I mean, I think that was the kind of standout mode from the original game on the GameCube, and it is back. Relatively similar, but just really in the way that every mode in this game has been massively beefed up. You know, like all the different events that you can do in that 5 minutes, and then the number of challenges that you can do at the end. What do we think about City Trial so far? Jordan, let's start with you.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of like customization, like you kind of get screwed in City Trial if you don't have a machine or stats that would make it beneficial for you. Because so basically what City Trial is you have 5 minutes to run around, you have different machines that you can kind of pick up, you have all these different little stat boosts you can pick up, and then at the end you play one mini game that you hope you have the right machine and stats for, otherwise you're just going to lose. And like that's just how it is. And to me, I think that randomization kind of takes away from the skill of it, which is weird because I feel like this game could be insanely skill based on the character special like customization and the machine customization. So like I like it as a concept, but in execution I find myself a little frustrated.
Yeah, I feel like I was leaning more towards that at the beginning, but City Trial, the more I play it, I think the more I'm enjoying it. I do think that like you just kind of get better at knowing all the little things that the game is throwing at you. I think that there's like a personal skill ceiling that increases the more you play it, that adds to your enjoyment of it. But I also felt a lot of those frustrations. And I do think that there are things that they could just change, some of which we've discussed, Hans. But what do you think about the mode so far, Hans?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I do think it's like really fun, especially when you start doing really well and then you just start absolutely going crazy. You know, those clips you've seen of Rick just like zooming across the entire map in like no time at all.
Through
It's
portals
so funny.
and all the crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that I'm not super satisfied with how they do the mini games at the end, but I also don't know what a good solution to that would be. I kind of like the idea of everybody doing the same one, but then that would clearly benefit some machines over others, so you can't really do it that way. So one thing I heard somebody suggest as an option was if they made it like a gauntlet where you did like 3 different ones, and whoever did the best overall. I think that would be cool. But
I agree.
But yeah,
because it feels like you're doing a battle royale, but then it's not really a battle royale at the end.
Yeah, because at the end it's like you get first in this one mode where only CPUs joined you.
I don't like that. Yeah. I agree. I don't think that was a good solution. I like that there are more characters in it. I like that there are 16 characters, but yeah, splitting it up, I just don't think that's the best. I think a gauntlet would have been a good idea, or just make more things and include all 16 characters. Like it's okay if it's a little Fall Guys-ish. You know what I mean? Like it's a fun mode. I mean, I think it makes for a really fun battle royale mode. Again, more updates that we could see for this game. But yeah.
From what I understand, in the settings, if you're playing online in like a paddock or something, you can change the settings kind of like in Smash where you turn off items, where you turn off specific modes that you don't want. So like in a roundabout way, you can make a specific one the one you want to do.
Yeah. And we've run into some of those when we played online. Yeah.
But that's also like not as fun as it being randomized. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I do think what Jordan was saying about it being almost like it could be competitive, but then explicitly not. Yeah. I feel like Sakurai doesn't want this to be competitive at all. Like, I think that's why the ranked modes are like, or the rankings are weird. Like it's unclear what rank you are and why like it breaks you out into 4 rooms. So there's no clean way to actually rank who did the best in City Trial. I think he just doesn't want it to be competitive, which I think is a bit of a missed opportunity, but it is definitely more of a party game.
Yeah. And like we keep saying, you can customize all this stuff, and I think that, you can really make the game what you want it to be. And you can even do that within online, right? And I think maybe we should kind of wrap up some of our discussion on this game just in discussing the online. We talked a little bit about it here, but it is like phenomenally implemented. I think that, for the most part, I'm not seeing any slowdown or hangups with the netcode. I think that they're doing some of that asynchronous netcode that you see with like Mario Kart Online, where the game's doing a little bit of predicting on what it thinks characters are going to be doing, lines are going to be ticking and whatnot. So maybe not everything is actually what is happening with every single person, but it all gets lost in the chaos of whatever you're doing online anyway. So I think it works out better to have a smooth experience like this. As we talked about, there are ranked online, casual online for each individual mode that you can play just by themselves. And then there are rooms that you can join online, which we've been talking about, called paddocks. And these just work so well. They're just big lobbies, because at first I was like, man, it really kind of sucks that I can't play. Yeah, I can't just like join an air ride with randoms, like you can with single player with my friends. But the way to get around that is you join a paddock, and there's 16 to 32 people or whatever, find a random online one or make your own and hope more people join in. And then, people vote on what it is that they actually want to play. People can make different game modes and you play all during it. And then you get unlocks as well for playing the online. I think the one major problem I've had with the online inside paddocks is every time somebody joins or leaves the paddock, everything gets frozen for a second, and that gets really annoying pretty quickly. But that is kind of a price to pay. I think I'd like take that and have all the functionality that we have, than have like somebody fly in and fly out slowly like Animal Crossing, or have the online choppy. I think it's a better solution that we have it this way, right?
I think that's like one of the things I'm most impressed about by this game is how un-Nintendo the online is. And I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess it's technically like Sakurai is kind of his own thing, which I kind of appreciate.
Yeah.
And honestly, the thing that was holding me back from getting really into Smash Ultimate is the online was so choppy. So I'm glad to see this go in a positive direction. Honestly, I feel like last go around, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe probably had the best online as far as like smoothness. That being said, I didn't play a lot of Splatoon. So.
Yeah, and Splatoon. That's what I was going to say.
But I didn't play a lot of Splatoon, which it would look pretty smooth as well. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope that this is like the new normal for online is kind of my hope.
I agree that the online is great. I don't know that I'm going to play a whole lot of it online. I think I will try to, but like you're saying, it seems already like the lobbies are not necessarily the fullest, and I'm hoping more people get this game, but I do understand it's kind of a tough sell of a game at $70 and just being such a weird game in general. So I don't know. We'll see how long it lasts.
I'm hopeful. I mean, I like the online, and that's just, it's funny that the three of us, I mean, I feel like all have different preferences on the modes and kinds of things that we like to do in this game. And I think that is a really cool thing about it generally, and I think that I hope that this episode has gotten some people that haven't played the game more interested in it, because I just really do think that games like this that just have so much packed in them and are made with this amount of like care and love, like I just love seeing this shit, right? And I think that like it would behoove Nintendo to really pay attention to the stuff that works about this game. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And implement a lot of these QLL features and online features and all this other shit. Like, it's like, you don't have to be allergic to that kind of stuff. And it's not like doing it is going to be ripping off like Sakurai's style. Like, nobody cares. I think like a lot of people have been complaining about how this game like doesn't have its own identity, and that it feels very much like it's just taken Smash Ultimate's identity in a lot of ways from its, menu designs, in a lot of ways that, even whenever you're loading stuff in the road trip mode, it has a little sparks on the loading screens that look just like the World of Light loading screens and everything like that. I'm like, look, to me, that's a feature, man. That's just like the genre of game this is, and that's like, okay. And I think if every game had a little bit more of that Smash Ultimate like sauce in it, they'd all probably be a little bit better, because I think Smash Ultimate's one of the best games ever made, right? So I think it's okay to take lessons from games like that. But
and I will say, if you do have the game and you haven't added me as a friend, I'm in the friend codes channel on the Discord server, so add me.
Hell yeah, that's a good call to action. Any final words as we're moving on here?
I think the only thing I can say is, at a different time, I think I would have very much enjoyed playing this game.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I could see that. Yeah. This is a very frenetic game. It is a very TikTok gooner brained game. Maybe not gooner, but it is, I don't know why I said that, but
you had Chef Kawasaki.
I had Bikini Chef Kawasaki on the brain. Yeah. We didn't even touch on the music in this game, which is phenomenal all the way through. Every track is a banger.
The final boss music is a just a banger.
Yeah, the shop music I love so much. I love there's a song that kind of sounds like Hava Nagila in here, which I think is funny. I'm always like, where's my dreidel? Whenever this song pops up. But anyway, good shit. There's so much more we could talk about, but we're going to call it there. What do you think, listener? Have you been playing Kirby Air Ride? Has this moved the needle at all for you on whether you might be picking up Kirby Air Riders for the Switch 2? Definitely let us know in the comments below on the YouTube version over on Discord, or leave a review on Apple with some of your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you over there. But in the meantime, I think we're going to go ahead and take a small break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about all the games we've been playing recently. So I mostly have been playing Kirby Air Ride, as we talked about for like the past hour, but I did get a really cool toy, and this I ordered a very long time ago. This is the AYN Thor. This is a Android handheld that is a dual screen emulator. So as you can see here on the video version, for people that are watching, I've got it pulled up. I've got Planet Robobot open up on the system right now. It plays pretty much everything. I think I actually have the bottom screen turned off. There we go. But it'll play pretty much everything, right? So it's got DS capability, 3DS capability, but it emulates all the way up to like Switch, and even Steam games will play on this thing through Game Hub and whatnot. So it's really an everything device. And I am just loving going through old emulators and ROMs and playing stuff on here. As I've been saying, I've been playing a little bit of Planet Robobot, Kirby. Well, I've been in the Kirby mood, but I've been going through some other DS games as well. Like I played Bust-A-Move DS. I've been playing that a lot. That's really fun. Just anything with the touchscreen with the stylus is fun to play. Tetris DS is a lot of fun to play. Obviously, one of the best Tetris games of all time. I've tried out pretty much every version of Myst just to see what they're all like. Like there's a version on the DS, which is awful, but then there's a version on the 3DS, which is even worse. It's just really, really funny. I have not tried emulating the Sega Saturn version of Myst yet, but this thing actually does emulate Saturn games like a dream. But a few of the games that I've been playing have been PS2 games, one of which is Fantavision. I don't know if you guys ever played that game, but I loved this game when I was a kid. It is a fireworks game. So it's like basically, shots go up and then you have to kind of match colors of fireworks that go up in order to ignite them. And it's just a very David game. I love this game. It's so much fun to revisit. I haven't played it since I was like a kid, whenever the PS2 came out. So I've been really enjoying going back to Fantavision. And then I also, of course, want to give a shout out to Eco. And this is a game that I also played when I was younger, and then recently replayed the Shadow of the Colossus remake that came out for the PS4. This, I'm just emulating the PS2 version on here, but the AYN Thor plays back all this stuff at like 1080p, right? So it's like everything you're playing is high def, be it 3DS or Switch or whatever. PS2, you can add in widescreen hacks for this game that really make it feel modern. And then just the screen, it's 2 OLED screens on this fucking thing. So it's just like really a powerhouse. I really recommend picking it up. It is a little on the pricier side. I think the cheapest model is $250. The model I got was $350. So it's definitely like console priced. But I mean, for what you're able to do, dang, it really can do quite a bit, and I'm having a ton of fun. It is not helping with all the new games that are coming out that I'm playing all these old games from like old generations or whatever, but I've been really enjoying my AYN Thor, and I'm sure I'll be talking a lot more about it on the podcast going forward. But Jordan, what about you? What have you been playing recently?
Not gonna lie, I'm getting a little bit of like jealous FOMO, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that thing looks sick. I have been wanting to get some sort of foldable device for a long time, and I just haven't done it. And that might be the one that makes me bite.
It's nice. It can fit in your pocket. It's nice to have portables that are actually portable, right?
That's the thing.
Yeah,
man.
really
it's just
cool.
Like if I'm going to a show or something and I just want to play a game. Anyway,
and it's hard to go back to a 2DS with like a 240p screen, dude. Or it's just like, come on, like it's hard. I was playing a Pilot Wings Resort for that Pilot Wings episode of that podcast I did, and it's just like it looks so much better on this thing.
Yeah, I was like wanting to go back and play Link Between Worlds. I'm getting off a topic, but it was like, my eyeballs are too used to 1080 or 720 at this point that I don't know. It's hard to go back.
If you do get one, hit me up. I'll give you all my ROMs.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
But as far as what I've been playing, it's kind of funny because I am still playing the same things because I am preparing for Metroid Prime 4. So I'm like, okay, I need to beat Silksong like
Mhm.
fully because I want to like pretty much 100% the game as much as I can manage. So I am now right before Act 3 of Silksong. And if you've played the game, you know what that means. I probably put about 55, 60 hours into it. And I've done like pretty much all of the side quests because when you enter Act 3, there is it takes a turn in a way that not that you can't do things, but things shift and become somewhat more difficult. So
Mhm.
trying to get everything done. But dude, what still just probably so far my game of the year. It's incredible. It's just as good as Hollow Knight. It's like comparing Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's like
Right.
it's not a fair comparison because they're both masterpieces in my mind. So really enjoying that. And then I've also just gotten way more into Monster Train 2 because like this game came out and I was like really wary to pick it up because I knew how much it would just suck me in. So I have now gotten to the point where so in Monster Train the basic premise is like you're on a train of hell and you're trying to beat monsters as you go to beat some god, whatever. Anyway, it's really kind of like is secondary, but basically there are different clans, and the way that the game, the way it's like sucking me in is every clan you can also have a sub clan, and so you have the main clan, you get cards from that one, and then you also get cards from the sub clan. So all the combinations are different, and I think there is 6 total clans. It might be 5, doesn't really matter. But so basically there's all these different combinations and all the different clans have different abilities that kind of mix differently. So it's just kind of just sucks me into where I'm like, oh, there's so much more variety in this game as opposed to something like Slay the Spire, which I also love, but there's like a handful of characters and those characters all have their archetypes. This, you're mixing all the archetypes together,
Mm.
which is like super addicting to me. But so I go through one clan with, and then I beat it once with the sub clans, and then I move on to the next clan, so on and so forth. So I'm like a couple in now, but that's it. That's pretty much all I've been playing besides Kirby Air Riders.
Oh yeah. Well,
Hans, what about you?
Yeah, before Air Riders came out, I was also had Kirby on the mind. So I went back and played some more Kirby in the Forgotten Land. I beat that game on Switch, but I got the Switch 2 edition, and it is, I mean, the game was pretty on Switch. It is gorgeous.
it's a really good upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pretty on the Switch too. And I'm trying to go back and play every single level and get all of the Waddle Dees.
Mhm.
I might try to 100% that game, but I've been having fun with that. Also, a game that came out on the same day as Kirby Air Riders that I had not seen any buzz about whatsoever was a remaster of this old kind of boomer shooter, maybe not as fast paced as like a traditional boomer shooter, but it's a Western called Outlaws.
Mhm.
It's like it's like a very, very tropey like spaghetti Western game. You know, the game starts out and you play as this character who used to be a sheriff and has put his gun away to start a family. And there's a big businessman who's running a train through, and he wants to buy his property so he can run a train through his property, and he doesn't want to sell his property. So this person kills his wife and kidnaps his kid, and now you're, back at it. It's like very, very like it knows exactly what it's doing. Is super tongue in cheek.
Yeah. Looks like it's on the Dark Forces 2 engine as well. That kind of modified Doom engine from the old LucasArts games.
Yeah. So it is a LucasArts game. But I played it on Switch too, and it is really nice. It looks exactly like it did when I played it as a kid, obviously. But like the increased resolution looks really nice.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think it's Night Dev Studios who's been doing a lot of those remasters, and they knock it out of the park with all those old boomer shooters.
Yeah,
There's
like a couple of times where I've seen the sky like black out a little bit here and there, but otherwise it runs really good. It also has gyro aiming just automatically.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So it's really cool. I like that game a lot. Also, I tried this game Winterborough that was shown off in a indie world a few months ago, and it came out a couple weeks ago. It's a very pretty game, like a 2D, like Redwall kind of vibe with the you're playing as a mouse, and it's a little bit like Don't Starve, like
looks like
survival game.
Yeah.
It didn't really grab me that much, but I do want to play it some more and see if I would like it a little more. But yeah, that's mostly what I've been playing. And obviously, Air Riders, I put a lot of hours into that over the weekend.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of indies that have come out this past week that I've had on my wish list for a long time that I just haven't really been able to make time for. But hopefully we'll talk about some of those in a future episode. And man, they should just make a fucking Redwall game at this point.
Yes.
What do they do? They need I need a Redwall cinematic universe at this point. What are we?
Do you guys?
Why have we wading through the water on Redwall, dude? That's some IP that needs to be tapped, baby.
Do you guys remember when all of that stuff from the scrapped Mouse Guard movie was coming out?
Yeah.
That Disney scrapped, and it looked so cool. It's that's what we need.
Give us our Rodentia that we so desire. I'm gonna have to settle for Zootopia too. Anyway, we're going to call the episode there. That has been such a delight. Thank you guys so much for joining. Or thank you, Hans, so much for joining on this episode.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, such a wonderful episode and such a great discussion about this game. I'd like to give a thanks to MilkyWay.co for doing our website. Thank you to Corduroy for doing our music. Thanks to all of our patrons on Patreon. If you'd like to find me online, I'm pretty much everywhere on the internet at Monolith Fiji.
You can find me at Boarding.
And what about you, Hans? Where can people find you online?
I'm at Hans Gauger on Discord and Blue Sky and Letterboxd. I'm on Letterboxd a lot.
Yeah, very good. I think I've been putting down movies on Letterboxd quite a bit recently. Join us all over there. You're on there as well, Jordan. Isn't that right?
I am, but it logged out on my phone. But I have a notes app, like a note of all the movies I need to log.
All right. So you'll be doing a dump soon.
Yeah, it'll be a dump soon.
Okay, very good. Good to know. Join us over on Letterboxd. Maybe one day we'll restart Super Film Heads. But that's going to do it. If you'd like to find our show on social media, we are at Switchheads on Blue Sky and Twitter, at Super Switchheads on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We have a website, switchheads.com, and we have a Patreon, a Discord, and a Facebook group. We'll have links to all three of those in the description of this episode. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're listening to us on Apple or Spotify, leave a review on those platforms. Leave a comment and a subscribe and a like on our YouTube video version, and join us over on the Discord. It's such a wonderful community, and we would love to have you be a part of it. Wow, what an episode, gang. Don't touch that dial, though, because we're going to be back next week with another very special episode. This has been an episode we've actually been trying to do for a long time. I'm just going to say it right now so we're locked in. We're doing an episode about Nintendo-exclusive Star Wars games. So that'll be a fascinating discussion. There have been a number that have been on Nintendo-exclusive platforms. We're going to be talking about all of those. We're going to be getting nostalgic with some of our favorites in the franchise. But until then, guys, you know the drill. Be safe out there. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to one another. Refill your Adderall subscription. Otherwise, you're not going to make any sense of what's happening in Kirby Air Riders. Fuck ice. Free Palestine. We love you very much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.